Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mets Central, your source for everything New York Mets baseball. It's over in Arizona. First game of our 9-game road trip, 3-game set in Arizona. The Mets take the first game 6-2. Lots to discuss today. Jacob Degrom, his second start since coming back from the IL. Pete Alonso back in his first game after being in the IL as well. And man, it was just a heck of a game. Great way to start the road trip. Degrom was definitely dominant like usual. We're going to recap it all. But before I get started, like always, man, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the ball game today and moving forward in the series. And of course, if you have not become a part of the community here at Mets Central, consider doing so down below. Subscribe and don't forget to put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. All right. With that being said, man, it is what? Monday night? It is Monday night. The 31st, the Memorial Day, first game out in the West Coast. We played 3 games against Arizona, and we go out and we take care of business today. 6-2 victory. The final stat line: Mets 6 runs, 13 hits, no errors. Diamondbacks 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. We're gonna go over the pitching. The Grominator, Jake, doing his thing, man. This is what you're gonna hear it here time and time again from me. I mean, there's no better pitcher in baseball than Jacob Degrom as far as consistency is concerned. And on top of that, it's just so many of the other things he brings to the table. His good fielding skills, his good base running skills, and of course, he's capable of providing some offense with the bat as well. He got a hit tonight as well. So final numbers for Jake, man. He pitched 6 innings, threw 70 pitches, 51 of them for strikes. He gets his 4th win of the year. No runs on 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, no base on balls. Just a clean outing for Degrom. And on top of that, he drops his earned run average now to an overwhelming 0.71 earned run average. So he's on his way and on pace. If he could stay healthy and continue doing what he's doing right now, he is on pace to be in the running for the Cy Young again this year, hands down. So other than that, the rest of the pitching staff, we held it down. I mean, we had some hiccups with Trevor May. He gave up 2 runs. So May was the one who struggled out of the pitching staff today. He went 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Both runs were earned, 1 K and 1 base on balls. He struggled, and obviously he had 1 or 2 hits that were just they were just weakly hit, and they just found a place. And unfortunately, that happens in baseball. But nonetheless, he did struggle. Other than that, when Luis Rojas got him out of there, and not build any momentum. Don't give the Diamondbacks any or your opponent. Does not matter which game it is. But anytime you have a lead, you don't want to surrender the lead. You have momentum trying to shift a little bit. Maybe go out there, speak to the pitcher, see if you can come up with a different game plan on how to approach the next hitter. Or in this case, come in, have somebody warming up in the bullpen, get him out of there. So they brought in Miguel Castro. He finished that 1 1/3 inning, and he only gave up 2 hits, no runs, nothing else. And then, of course, Familia closed it out in the 9th with a nice, strong 9th inning, 2 Ks in the process, only gave up 1 hit, no runs, and we walk away with a 6-2 victory. So, again, the bullpen and the actual pitching staff with the starting pitcher, Degrom, were just fantastic. Like I said, other than Trevor May. So I would say that was not a bad game for us. And again, I always said that to, when I sit down and talk to friends or family or whatever, we talk about baseball and I talk about the Mets. Obviously, the key for us and has been so far has been pitching. Now, granted, we got Seth Lugo back, so he's going to be called upon at any point now. And that's a bonus for us in the bullpen. And for us to be at under or around 3.00 earned run average as far as in the major leagues, as far as the staff, and only pretty much I would say now it's about maybe a good 10, 12, 13 games we have held opponents to like 3 or 2 runs or less a game. So we're on pace here to stay under that 3 ERA. And if we are able to do that and we can get all our firepower back with our offense, considering that we got Pete Alonso back last night, and he had a great performance to start off in his first game back, which was definitely unexpected. But nonetheless, if we're able to sustain that, we're going to be dominant. The only thing we need to do is to keep opponents at 2 or 3 runs a game, and we can average more than 4 runs a game, which we have enough of a lineup to do that. We pulled up 6 last night. We had 13 the other day. We're starting to get some production here. And we have to take advantage of teams like the Diamondbacks that right now have a pretty decent group of guys, but not a strong pitching staff. But hitting-wise, they have some dangerous guys, and they're capable of putting up runs, but they really are struggling right now. We have to take advantage and really just put the hammer down on these teams, score runs. Pitching has to be dominant. If we can do that, we can go into Arizona, sweep all 3 games. We got one in the books right now. Tomorrow, the Stroh Show will be on the bump, and we're going to see how well he does, because he has had, and we'll go over that in a little bit, he has had a little bit of struggle, small sample size against some of the hitters of the Diamondbacks. But now let's go, let's look at offensively last night. So obviously the first sign of defense is always the pitching. We did have some good defensive gems. When it comes to defense, before I go to the offense, let's just go to the 2 big plays. Jonathan VR continues to just impress me with his good defensive play at third base, and he's a natural second baseman, and he's playing third because he is that good with the glove, and he has a good enough arm to play third, and he's showing he's very comfortable there. So, with VR, you're getting, it's going to be a lot of things going on here. McNeil is not expected to be back to the end of June, and we're just going into June right now. So Jonathan VR is going to get a lot of playing time. Peralta did get 2 hits tonight. He's in consideration to get some platooning time with VR, but I look at it moving forward. If JD does get back here in the next week or so, when JD does come back, I see VR moving over to second base. That's obvious to me. You got to keep him in the lineup because he's a base stealing threat. He's capable of getting on base. He gets at least a hit a game, or at least he gets on base once or twice a game on average as of late. And if he's able to do that, he has the potential to steal bases, and he puts pressures on it. And that pressure of stealing bases puts pressure on the pitchers as well as the defense on weak teams or teams that are not very good at holding runners or are not good at throwing runners out. So we have to take advantage of that. We need him to get on. So he's got to continue to be on, and we need him to obviously still be in his lineup even throughout because of that, because defensively he is capable of being productive and keeping ourselves in a position to not give up additional runs because of defense. And on top of that, he is capable of getting on base and be a base stealing threat. So VR, I see him getting more and more time even after JD comes back. And if JD struggles, then obviously he'll go back to third. JD will see, platoon time. So I'm hoping in his case, when he's ready, he is ready to come back and do what he was doing before he got hurt. And that was being effective and being consistent with his bat. So, and I wish JD Davis all the best to come back here and kick some butt and keep his position at third. But VR is definitely playing a fantastic third base. Defensive plays throughout. And then we had the young kid that got called up, which I was going to speak to you guys about because I told you that I'm going to start doing some recapping on the farm system, and he is one that's been kicking butt in the farm system for AAA, and that's Mason Williams. He came in here, played some center field, played a solid center field, got his first hit in his first at bat on the first pitch. So great job, young man. Welcome to the big leagues. Let's see how long you're going to be able to be up here, but for the time being, what I would recommend is you got to take advantage of the opportunity and do everything you can to stay on the field. And that means make defensive plays, get up to the plate, be disciplined at the plate, make sure you get good quality at bats, get as many hits as you can, and if you can get on base and steal some bases as well, you're going to find yourself that you may stay here a lot longer than people think. So got to take advantage of the opportunities when they do come, and he has an opportunity here to get something done and be a part of this team, and he did that. Shot over to center field, deep into center field. In a deep part, he probably got it at about 400 feet. Some other ballparks that could have been probably out of the park. He was able to run it down, make a great play on a ball that could have saved a double, maybe even a triple, depending on where it landed. So awesome play, and that's what we need. Defensive plays like that take the momentum, sink teams down, and on top of that, it basically helps support your pitcher, who is the first sign of defense when it comes to baseball. So Mason Williams, man, a great job there, VR, like I said. So let's look over some of the hitting, man. So offensively, the hitter of the day for me, and obviously the MVP, is Pete Alonso, all right? The Polar Bear came through 2 for 5. He had a double, a home run, and 4 total RBIs. His 4 RBIs obviously are the difference in his game, being 6-2. So he is the player of the game. He is the hitter of the day. He is the MVP, whatever you want to consider, other than Jacob Degrom with the pitching. Also, other guys that did very, very well that I would like to mention. First one is got to be Dom Smith, 2 for 4, all right, with 2 doubles. It's a great job by Dom. I don't love his swing, but when he does swing, he makes good contact, stays level, doesn't try to do too much with his swing. He usually makes fairly good medium to hard contact on baseballs, and he gets them in the gaps, and that's what he did today, and I hope that he can continue to do that. I hate when he's trying to swing for the fences, or when he's bailing and not staying back on his discipline when it comes to the off-speed or breaking pitches. But when he is locked in there and he can stay back and he can actually get better selection of pitches and take pitchers deep in counts, he gets an opportunity to get a fairly good amount of pitches that he's able to hit, get medium to hard contact, and be able to get some hits and to get some doubles in the gaps. And that's what we want him to do. We don't need him to be a home run hitter. So hopefully this is the start of Dom Smith being a little bit more consistent with his hitting. We move along the line. The third guy I'll have to mention is Francisco Lendore. Now, granted, he did strike out 2 times, but they were pretty decent at bats. But 2 for 5 with a double is a good start. He's progressing slowly but surely, at least in my eyes. So let's hope he continues to go in the right direction. And then when we look at that, we have Peralta 2 for 4 with a double as well and 2 runs scored. So Jose Peralta getting it done as well. He has those moments where he may have a 0 for 4 game. He comes back the next day and he gets a 1 for 4 or 2 for 4 day. So it was a good day for Jose Peralta as well. Billy McKinney hit a shot. I mean, he hit a freaking another shot today. That's 2 games in a row with a home run. And that's the way you want to stick around here. It's going to be tough when we get back to when we get all those guys back. Obviously, he's not going to take Conforto seat, but he has an opportunity to maybe play some center and maybe play some left field on his team when Conforto comes back. But right now, the right field job is his, as long as he continues to hit bombs or at least get on base. So Billy McKinney, good job there, 1 for 4. Jonathan VR, like I mentioned before, he came through again with another hit. He did have a base on balls. He did steal a base. That's what he's capable of doing. He's an aggressive base runner, and he loves to steal bases, but he also gets caught quite often as well. So he got caught stealing one time as well. And then the young kid, like I said, Mason Williams, 1 for 3. Not too bad. And then last but not least, man, KP is back. Kevin Pillar came back, first at bat after having that really, scary hit to the face 2 weeks ago. He is back in the lineup, gets up there and gets a hit in his first at bat back in the MLB. So awesome job. He's a scrap iron, man. I really love the guy. I've always liked him in all the other teams he's played on, and I am glad that he is part of this Mets family. So those are the hitters, man. So looking forward, man, what can we take out of the game? Obviously, we won 5 in a row. We are playing good baseball, considering we have still a number of guys out. I'm happy to say, and I'm glad to say that we got Pete Alonso back. We got KP back, and then we got Seth Lugo. At some point, maybe we'll see some Seth Lugo maybe over the next couple of days. Who knows? But we're glad that those 3 guys are back in the saddle, so to speak, and back here with the ball club. So I'm very excited. And like I said before, as soon as we have all our weapons, we're 6 games over 500. We're playing very good baseball. Great job by Luis Rojas. Great job by Jeremy Hefner with the pitching staff. I can't say it more. I can't even say it any more than I've been saying it in the few videos I've been doing on this channel, is that, these guys are doing an excellent job. And if we could just get to the point where we have almost all our hitters back and our complete pitching with Carrasco back. we just got back. Walker had an awesome outing. We got back Degrom, second outing, first 2 outings, fantastic outings. And then Stroh has been pretty, he's been consistent enough. He has a 2.74 earned run average going into tomorrow's matchup. So he's doing fine. Under 3 is wonderful. If we can get that even lower, it'd be great. But between Walker, Stroh, and the Degrominator, we got 3 nasty dogs right there. And they're all back. At least we got Walker, we got Degrom back, and that adds to Stroman. We got a 1-2-3 punch right there. As soon as we can get Cookie Carrasco back, it doesn't look good for Syndergaard, but you know what? If David Peterson can actually just improve in his consistency of being ahead on hitters, he's capable. He has potential to be a pretty decent lefty pitcher in the 4-5 spot in the rotation, but he has to be consistent and be able to get himself deeper in games, 5-6 innings at least, and then keep that pitch count minimal, 70 pitches to 75 pitches in 5 or 6 innings. And maybe he might be able to see a 7th inning and to get 80 to 90 pitches. But he has to get consistent, and as soon as he can get consistent, he's going to be okay. But I think we're going to do fine with this pitching staff. And as you can see, we're starting to come around. Some guys are starting to hit. McCann had an 0 for tonight, but he'll bounce back. He had at least 1 or 2 good swings tonight. At least, but he went 0 for 5. With Lendore slowly but surely starting to get doubles, hitting home runs, starting to make better contact. And then now we got Pete Alonso back, and then everybody else is just doing fine. So, as long as we continue to do that, we're going to be great. So, Moving forward to tomorrow, man. So tomorrow we got the Stroh Show. Just to go over a little bit about the pitching. Stroman is going into the matchup tomorrow. He is 4-4 with a 2.47 earned run average, and he's going up against Caleb Smith. And Mr. Smith is a lefty. He's 2-1 in the season with a 3.27 earned run average. And when I looked a little bit deeper, I obviously like to look at to see how they're done against other hitters with the BVP. And we're going to go over Stroman. Stroman, this is a small sample of Diamondback players, batters against Marcus Stroman. And I think that was maybe earlier this year. But the one guy that we have to worry about going into this matchup, and I'm sure that me as a coach telling one of my kids when we're facing a team a second time and we had a pitcher struggle maybe with a few batters or with the entire lineup, is we have to have a different approach on how we're going to go and attack those hitters. So David Peralta went 3 for 3 and 3 at bats against Marcus Stroman. He has hurt Marcus the most. He is 3 for 3. He has 3 hits. One of them is a home run. He has 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Obviously, his numbers are going to be outrageous. He has a 1,000 batting average, which is not sustainable for a long period of time. 1.000 ISO in a 1.267 WOBA with an OPS of 3.000. So I know that the whole idea here for Stroman is to have a different approach on how he handles Peralta tomorrow night. So we'll see how that goes. Stephen Vault, who might not get a lot of playing time, did not play last night. Maybe they'll look at the statistics, see that he's had some success with a home run against Stroman. But he has 6 at bats. Again, very small sample size, 3 hits, one of them being a home run, 2 runs scored. That one hit, that home run was a 2-run homer. And he's batting .500 with a 500 ISO and a 633 WOBA against Marcus Stroman and a 1.500 OPS. Again, small sample size, but these are the guys we have to worry about for Marcus tonight, or at least that he has to worry about and have a different approach. That's really the game plan, is to have a better game plan against those guys that have touched you up a little bit. Other than that, the other 2 guys on the lineup that have had a lot of more, obviously a few more at bats than those guys have been. Josh Reddick has had 9 plate appearances against Stroman. He has gotten 4 hits, one of them being a double, one also a home run. He has 3 runs scored, 1 RBI, 1 base on ball, but he has struck out 3 times compared to the others. He has struck out at least 3 times against Stroh. He's batting .444 with a 1.389 OPS, 383 WOBA, and a 575 WOBA with a 444 ISO, which, those are great numbers. But again, and that's not bad for 9 plate appearances to get 4 hits like that. And obviously one of them being a home run, another one being a double. So obviously his isolated power numbers are going to be high. But Josh Reddick, someone to consider, to watch out for tonight. Other than that, the next guy is Escobar. Eduardo Escobar has had 12 plate appearances against Marcus Stroman, but he's only had 2 hits. Both of them have been doubles, both runs. He has scored both times he's been at the bases. 1 RBI, 1 base on ball, 1 strikeout. He's only batting 167, and rightfully so. But that is a better sample size. 12 at bats and only getting 2 hits. I like those numbers better. So Eduardo Escobar obviously is going to be looking to do things differently with Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman should be looking to do everything he has done up to this point against Mr. Escobar. So we'll see how that pans out tonight. And again, this is why we play 162 games. You just never know. Anything can happen any given day. And, of course, Stroman can have a great day again against all these guys, or these guys can tattoo him up. So we don't know that. This is the reason we play the games. And this is the reason why nobody, like I've said before, no team in the MLB is going to win every single game they play. 162-0, it's not going to ever happen. So Escobar, 167, ISO 246, WOBA with a 167 batting average. Obviously, that is horrendous. Other than that, everybody else has had very small samples. We do have everybody else has had at least 3 or 4 at bats. Marte, Rojas, Walker, Nick Ahmed actually has had 9 plate appearances. Only has 2 hits. He's another guy that struggled so far with Stroman. 222. Carson Kelly 0 for 2. LaCastro 0 for 2. Marte 1 for 4. Rojas 1 for 4. So not a whole lot there as far as complete team average against Stroman. Really high, 298, and that's all due to Peralta's 3 for 3 and the 3 for 6 by Voit, and the 4 for 9 for Josh Reddick has kept those numbers high. Other than that, the other 5 or 6 players, that more than likely might be in this lineup have had trouble with Stroman. So Stroman's going to have to make some changes, be aware of what he's doing and how he's going to go about his approach and how he's going to handle Peralta, Voit, or Reddick in today's matchup. On the other side of the ball, Caleb Smith, also very small sample. The Mets have not faced him a whole lot. We had 9 plate appearances for Pete Alonso. He has had the most plate appearances against Smith. He only has 1 hit. So 1 for 9 against this young man with 5 strikeouts. So Pete cannot be overly aggressive against lefties. And we know Pete struggles with lefties, but he's going to be in the lineup, I would think, either or. He's only batting 111 against Mr. Smith. And obviously his numbers everywhere across the board have been horrible. But with a 2 for 5 performance tonight, maybe he'll keep some of that momentum going into tomorrow, and maybe Mr. Smith might make some mistakes. So we'll see how that pans out. Francisco Lendore has had 5 plate appearances against Mr. Smith. He's 2 for 5. He does have 2 home runs. So those 2 hits were 2 home runs. So he's the one guy he's going to have to be careful with. But that's Lendore batting righty. Very, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles Francisco Lendore. And now that Lendore is starting to feel his groove a little bit, starting to see the ball better, being a little bit more better with his discipline. His timing is getting a little bit better, but that's on the lefty side. He doesn't see as many right-handed appearances or opportunities, and tonight he's going to get one. So we'll see how he does with Mr. Smith. Smith obviously is going to try to do some things differently, and Lendore is going to look to just, be patient and look for something to hit. But, 2 home runs, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, 1 base on balls. He has struck out 2 out of those 5 plate appearances. He has a 1.200 ISO. That isolated power obviously is going to be through the roof because of the 2 home runs, a 783 WOBA, 2.100 OPS. And he's batting 400 against Mr. Smith. Other than that, Dominic Smith 1-2, Peraza's 1 for 3. Everybody else, Pilar 0 for 1, VR 0 for 1. Not anything there. Very small sample size. So a lot of guys are going to get opportunities for the first time to really get an opportunity to hit Mr. Smith. The ones that have been able to get more at plate appearances have been Lendore and Pete Alonso. We look at James McCann. He's also had 1 at bat with 1 hit, and that 1 hit was also a home run against Caleb Smith. So we got a couple guys that might be able to get around on Smith. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens. Total team average for those 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players is 261. So we are batting pretty poor against Smith. But again, very small sample size. You're talking about 23 total at-bats with 6 hits. And obviously Lendore with the 2 hits, Dominic with 1, Peraza with 1, McCann with 1. And Lendore and McCann are the only ones that hit the long ball against this guy. Other than, they're the only 2, sorry. So that's where we stand there, man. So that's a preview of tomorrow's pitching matchup. When we look a little bit deeper, if we look at Stroman, we know Stroman is a ground ball pitcher, and the Diamondbacks have been one of those teams that have hit quite a bit of ground balls as of late because they've been struggling. So this is definitely a great matchup for Stroman, at least other than Peralta and a few of those other guys that have hit him well. He is in line to possibly get some good ground balls. But so far this year, 54%, almost 55% ground ball rate. And when we saw in the last game, they did show the statistics for the major leagues. He was in the top 3 or 4 there. And he's going to always be one of those. He's always been known to be a ground ball pitcher. He always wants to keep the ball down low and be able to work that strike zone. When we look at him a little bit further, fly balls 25% and 20% line drive rate. When we look at Caleb Smith, he is more of a fly ball pitcher. So far this year, 45% of the balls hit off of Caleb Smith have been fly balls. So we're looking to hopefully get, but that's a big ballpark, especially in center field for Arizona. So we're looking to pull some balls just like Pete Alonso did yesterday. So today should be a day, if you're going to try to hit one out, you're going to have to try to pull it. But 45%, he's 25% ground ball rate, and 29, almost 29.8. He's almost at 30% of the time balls are hit on a line drive. So, man, he better not hang any pitches there today, man, because hopefully we'll be able to cut the ball in half and be able to drive the ball gap to gap. So we'll see what happens there. And we look at the pull percentage. He is at 31% of the balls being pulled on him. Balls hit up the middle towards the center of the field, 36% for Smith. And when it comes to soft, hard, and medium contact, 59.8, almost 60% of the balls hit from Smith have all been medium contact, medium to hard contact, 28.7% hard contact. And when we go and look at Marcus Stroman, his numbers are actually a little bit better. When we look at balls pulled 40%, so he gets a lot of balls pulled. 34.3% to the center, to the middle of the field, and opponents are not hitting at the opposite field as often. 32.2%. Now, when we look at soft, medium, and hard contact for Stroh, 56.9% of the balls hit medium contact. And hard hit balls only 33.9, so you round that off to 34%. And soft contact, he doesn't get a whole lot of soft contact, only 9.2%. So, I mean, the numbers are a little here and there. I would say that we still have to favor Stroman because of the lineup, because of the way we've been playing, and because of the way he's been pitching. He's been pretty consistent. He's had those moments where he has a bad inning or two, or he's had a couple of games where he's made some mistakes and given up some home runs. This is something he cannot do tonight, considering he's had some guys in the lineup, which I already shared with you, that have tattooed him a little bit over a small sample size of at-bats. So he's going to have to go in there, have a great game plan, stay focused, make sure he keeps the ball down in his zone, work his sinker, work his cut fastball, and sprinkle in his little changeup here and there, which he has a tendency of doing time to time. With all those out pitches he's got, he should be able to do fine here with a team that's been struggling. So I still give the edge going into tomorrow night's matchup to Stroman over Smith, as opposed to his position of who he's going to face in the batting order for the bats for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that's where we at. That's what that's just a little preview of tomorrow's matchup as far as pitchers are concerned. If I had time, I would definitely do a preview or a pregame. It's just tough. I have an everyday regular job as well, so it's tough but I really just want to be able to engage more with you guys and share with more stuff that I would like to share. And unfortunately, it's tough in the evening to come back and try to squeeze that all in just before the game starts. So what I'll do is, for the time being, for now, at least for a little bit, is just do a wrap-up show and then maybe sprinkle in a little preview of what we're going to see the next day as far as pitching matchups. And then slowly but surely I'll incorporate other things about, some more statistics that I like to look at, especially when I play DFS MLB. Anyway, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, man. So I hope you liked the video, man. If you did, please drop a like. Also, comment down below. Let me know what you think of today's game. Who you think were the stars of the game. I mean, anything you want to share about it. And as well as if you have any input on tomorrow, on how Stroh's going to do. I would love to hear from you. I would love to interact with you. Other than that, make sure that you subscribe. Be a part of the community. Let's build this thing up. Let's get together and talk. And let's BS and just shoot the shit about Major League Baseball, our beloved New York Mets, anything pertaining to baseball. I'm all for it. And don't forget to put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And with that, I'll leave it there. I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out.